Things just went from bad to worse in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, the guy who makes this whole offense come alive, is out again, and that's not just another injury update. It's the kind of news that shakes an entire locker room. The Ravens are already hanging by a thread at 1-4, and now they're heading into another game without their leader, their spark, their everything. You can feel the pressure building, like the season slipping away one Sunday at a time. And it's not just about Lamar sitting out. The offense looks lost. Cooper Rush is under massive pressure to turn things around, and even with a few key defenders coming back, it might not be enough. The bye week's just around the corner, but will the Ravens even make it there in one piece? Everything is on the line now, and what happens next could define their entire season. It's starting to feel like déjà vu in Baltimore. For the second straight week, Lamar Jackson is out, and that changes everything. He's not just a quarterback. He's the heartbeat of this team. When he's on the field, there's confidence, rhythm, and that sense that anything can happen at any moment. But now, with that hamstring injury still holding him back, the Ravens are missing their leader right when they need him most. The timing couldn't be worse. The team sitting at 1-4, dangerously close to a start that could bury their season before it even really begins. The offense that once looked unstoppable now feels lost, and the energy around the locker room is different, heavier, uncertain. Every game without Lamar feels like climbing uphill in rain, and each loss just makes the climb steeper. It's not just about missing his plays. It's about missing what he brings to the team emotionally. Lamar's a guy everyone looks to when things get rough. He can change the entire mood of a game with one move, a deep throw, a broken tackle, a smile after a big run. Without that, everything feels a little flat. The Ravens know it, the fans know it, and you can feel that tension building with every snap. Now, all eyes turn to what happens next. The numbers without Lamar don't lie, and they tell a story that's been hard to watch over the years. Because when he's not out there, this team just hasn't found a way to win, and that's where the real concern begins. Every time Lamar Jackson isn't on the field, it's like the entire Ravens offense forgets who they are. The numbers are brutal. Since 2018, Baltimore has gone 4-11 without him. That's not just a bad stretch. That's a collapse. And when you look closer, it gets even uglier. They've lost 5 straight without Lamar and haven't scored more than 17 points in any of those games. It's almost like his presence flips a switch that no one else can reach. You see it right away when the offense takes the field. Without Lamar, there's no spark, no rhythm, no unpredictability. Drives stall faster, the pocket collapses, and the creativity that usually defines Baltimore just disappears. This isn't just about missing a great quarterback. It's about losing the entire identity of the team. The defense feels the weight, the play calling gets cautious, and the confidence fades snap by snap. It's wild to think about how much one player can change everything. But that's the reality in Baltimore. Lamar's not just the most dynamic player they have. He's the reason they believe they can win. When he's gone, the Ravens turn into a completely different team, one that looks unsure itself and constantly searching for answers that never seem to come. And now, with him out again, the question isn't whether the Ravens will miss him. It's how badly they'll struggle this time. The offense needs someone to step up and stop the bleeding. But as we've seen before, that's easier said than done. Which brings us to the man carrying that heavy load this week. Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush knows exactly what's at stake right now. After last week's nightmare performance against the Texans, he's stepping back onto the field with a lot to prove. And not much time to prove it. 3 interceptions, just 179 passing yards, and a 44-10 blowout loss isn't the kind of debut Baltimore fans were hoping for. It wasn't just a bad game. It was a complete offensive meltdown, one that showed just how hard it is to fill Lamar Jackson's shoes. Rush is no rookie. He's been around long enough to understand what comes with this job. His time with the Cowboys built him a reputation as a steady, reliable backup, but right now, reliability isn't enough. The Ravens need a spark, something that brings life back into this offense, even if it's not the fireworks Lamar provides. Rush said all the right things this week about protecting the football and staying focused, but this is about execution, not words. For him, this isn't just another start. It's a test of whether he can handle the pressure that comes with leading a struggling team that desperately needs direction. He's got the arm and the experience, But can he handle the weight of expectation in a locker room used to following one of the most electrifying players in football? That's what everyone's about to find out. And while all eyes are on the offense and Rush's redemption, there's another storyline quietly developing on the other side of the ball, one that could make all the difference in keeping Baltimore competitive this week.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Finally, some good news for the Ravens. After weeks of injury frustration, the defense is getting some key names back, and that could be the difference between another blowout and a fighting chance. Kyle Hamilton, Ronnie Stanley, and Marlon Humphrey are all expected to return, and their presence alone changes the entire energy on the field. These are veterans who bring toughness, leadership, and stability, exactly what this team needs right now. Hamilton's versatility in coverage and run support can give this defense the balance it's been missing, while Humphrey's return adds that shutdown presence the secondary's been craving. Ronnie Stanley's presence on the offensive line is huge too, not just for protection, but for setting the tone physically. These are the kind of players who don't just fill positions. They set standards. But of course, it's not all good news. The Ravens will still be without Roquan Smith, and that's no small loss. He's the emotional anchor of this defense, the guy who plays every snap like it's personal. Without him, there's still a gap in communication and intensity that no one can truly replace. So even with reinforcements, the defense will need to play nearly flawless football to give this team a real shot. And that's the thing. Even if the defense locks in and plays lights out, none of it will matter if the offense can't find a pulse. The good news? There's one small break ahead that might just change everything. If there's one piece of hope Baltimore can hold on to right now, it's the timing of the bye week. It's coming at the perfect moment, giving Lamar Jackson a little more time to get healthy and hopefully return when the Ravens face the Bears. It's the kind of reset this team desperately needs, a breather before things spiral too far. But that only matters if they can survive this week. The reality is harsh. If the Ravens drop to 1-5, history says their playoff hopes are basically gone. Only 4 teams in NFL history have ever climbed out of that hole and still made it to January football. That's how small the margin for error is. Every game now feels like a must-win, every possession like it could define their season. There's no more room for sloppy football or missed opportunities. For Lamar, this extra time could be the difference between fighting back into contention or watching from the sidelines as the season slips away. He's doing everything he can to stay involved, sitting in meetings, helping teammates, staying mentally sharp. But the truth is, there's no substitute for what he brings when he's actually out there leading the offense. So as the Ravens prepare for another Sunday without their star, one thing is clear. This next game will tell us a lot about who they really are without him. Can Cooper Rush keep them afloat just long enough for Lamar to return and save the season? Or will Baltimore's playoff dreams fade before they even get the chance? The answer is coming fast. The situation in Baltimore couldn't feel heavier. Lamar Jackson's absence has exposed just how much this team depends on him, not just for big plays, but for energy, rhythm, and belief. Without him, everything feels off like a machine missing its most important gear. Cooper Rush now carries the weight of keeping the Ravens season alive, but every mistake makes that challenge even tougher. Still, there's a sliver of hope. The defense is starting to get healthier. The bye week is around the corner, and if Lamar can return soon, there's still time to turn things around. But make no mistake, every game from here on out is critical. The margin for error is gone, and the pressure couldn't be higher. So now the question is, can the Ravens hold it together long enough for Lamar to come back and rescue their season? Or is this the moment where everything starts to slip away?
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself.